Hey guys, it's FishingThePNW here. I didn't quite hit the 2,000 subscriber mark that I was hoping for, but I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner. And I just want to say that it was not easy to pick a winner. I went through all of the comments multiple times, and I had to narrow it down to a few people, and within those few people, it was really tough to pick one winner. But what made me pick the winner was because this person made me believe that he has a true appreciation for the nature and the wildlife and all the different aspects about fishing that aren't necessarily related directly to fishing. And I mean, it's all about the love for nature, the love for the sport, the love for the fish, and enjoying everything from the sunrises to the sunsets to the wildlife that you encounter on the water, and just having a passion for fishing. So the winner that I've chosen is Seth Meyer. Please go ahead and send me a message with your contact info. Give me your address, and I will get these baits shipped out to you pretty soon. And I thought it'd be kind of neat to kind of share how I got started fishing. And basically, when I was younger, my parents were really busy, but my dad always found time, at least a few times throughout the summer, to take me bottom fishing in the Puget Sound. And there was a beach that's now just a total public beach where a lot of people go and hang out in the summer, and it's developed into a park now. But before, when I was younger, there wasn't really anything other than the sand, and there weren't too many people there, so there were a ton of flounder there. So you could go there, you could cast out, just let your bait soak on the bottom, and you could catch flounder literally all day long. So I grew up bottom fishing in the Puget Sound for flounder, and as I got older and was in my early teenage years, I started kind of branching out. I started doing a little bit of lake fishing, which I never really did, and I wasn't very good at it, but I was at a public dock one day, and there was a man there who took a little bit of time to show me just the basic rig for either bottom fishing or fishing under a float for trout. And after I started fishing freshwater lakes, I started catching very small bass, like less than half a pound. I catch all sorts of bluegills and perch and all of that. But it wasn't until about mid-season in 2010 when I actually really got into bass fishing and actually started bass fishing. And back then I didn't have much money, and I actually only had 2 rods, believe it or not. It was a $25 Daiwa D-Shot combo from Fred Meyer. And as much as the higher end and nicer gear, as nice as it is to have, and even though it is a lot better than the cheaper end rods, that does not mean that you can't catch quality fish on those cheaper end rods. So if that's all you have, it doesn't matter. Just keep fishing it, and eventually you can upgrade your rods little by little. But when I first started fishing, probably the first couple of years, I just had really cheap gear, and the bait casters I had were just $40 Pinnacle bait casters from Walmart. But once I started bass fishing, I think the first year that I started bass fishing, my biggest fish was only about 3.5 pounds. But to me, back then, it was huge, and throughout the years, I started catching that size frequently, and I've been fortunate enough to catch some big ones in Washington State. And one thing that I love the most about bass fishing is no matter how much you know and how good you are, there's always a lot more that you can learn, and there's a lot more areas where you can improve. So it's something that never gets dull, it never gets boring, it's constantly a challenge. And no matter how experienced you are, almost every time you get out there, depending on the weather conditions, the water clarity, time of year, it's always a challenge to catch these bass, and that's what makes it fun. And no matter what you read online, there is never one thing I just kind of want to point out is there isn't like a Goldilocks retrieve or a Goldilocks bait that's just going to constantly catch bass. And what might work well for someone in one part of the country might not work at all for someone in a different part of the country. So I just wanted to let you guys know that don't get stuck in that idea that you have to fish a certain way, fish a certain bait, or fish in certain areas to catch bass, because that's not true. And while those points may be valid, here and there are no absolutes in bass fishing. So again, Seth Meyer, congratulations on winning, and send me your contact info, and I'll get that package sent out to you.